Hey guys, it's Jizo here, and today I'm going to try to explain to you how to play and master Styanax in one take. So, first things first, on paper, Styanax seems to look really good. All of his stats are pretty awesome, his abilities read pretty awesome, everything is fine and dandy, but then you might acquire him and start playing him, and your first impression would be something along the lines of,
"What the fuck is this piece of shit?"
So what the heck is going on here? Let's jump straight into the build, a little bit unorthodox, of course, for a kind of a guide thing, because we usually save these for later, but let's do it because this is where the flaw can be seen. So what you need to do is you desperately have to get Intrepid Stand, and you desperately have to use Arcane Truculence for this guy, because if you don't, you're screwed. These two have to be on your build at all times, and these two together in tandem will fix the problem that Styanax has. If you build him any other way without using both of these together, he will feel lacking in some way or another. So doing that will fix everything. So now you've seen the build, I'm going to go over that in just a little while. Let's go ahead and jump into some easy, simple gameplay as I give you a rundown of his abilities. Okay, so let's check out the passive first. The passive gives you more crit chance for your weapon that you're using. For spear guns, which is kind of his signature thing, it gives you double that crit chance. That's nice to have, doesn't really matter too much though, since all the weapons that we're going to be using are going to be overpowered one way or another. Quick tip, it's probably a good idea to play Styanax with any kind of an AoE weapon for this exact reason. As you can see, the enemies got grouped up. What is that? That's his first ability. His first ability is a spear toss. The spear toss is kind of like a Vauban vortex, as you can see. If you hit an enemy, it'll carry that enemy to the next surface, and upon impact with that surface, it'll group them all up into a nice little cluster that you can then obliterate either using a AoE weapon or by using melee. It's recommended that you do this from atop, aiming down, because then you can always pin exactly where the enemies are going to be. If you do it like this, they'll probably go flying way back into the distance like so and cluster back there, and you just have no control over what exactly is happening. If you do it something like this, immediately behind them, then you get the most bang out of that crowd control. Okay, let's look at the third ability. The third ability is very important. If you look at the bottom right, you can see that it is not activated right now. Even though I am at maximum energy, you will not see it. But if you pay attention to my energy number upon casting, which is now, you can see that my energy number is jumping up very quickly. That is what the third ability does in essence. The third ability is like a arcane, not an arcane, sorry, it's like the energy siphon mod, but kind of on steroids. So it'll give you your energy back. Obviously you want to have this on all the time. It does some other things too, like give you shields for kills and assists and stuff like that, and that's pretty good to have. Basically, all you need to know about this ability is just keep it on all the time and you'll be good. If you have it off at any point, you are going to have trouble with your energy. The reason why that doesn't come across very much right now in this video is because I'm using the Death Cube. If you look right there, my little companion, hello there, young man. The Death Cube is modified with the energy generator, which means for assists, you have a higher chance of dropping energy orbs. You can see them right here. I'm probably picking up a whole bunch on the side. This isn't mandatory, I'm going to tell you right now. You don't have to use a Death Cube or something similar that helps you generate energy orbs, but it is massively going to increase your ability to retain your energy. If you don't use it, it still works, but you're going to have to rely solely on kills. Speaking of kills, I want you to look at these guys and their health bars. You can see that they're yellow. This means that they have their armor on them. Their armor is intact. If I jump into this group and press my second ability, boom, all of them red, nobody has armor anymore. Cluster them, shoot your weapon onto them for easy kills. So the second ability does exactly that. It removes the enemy armor. It pushes them back a little bit as well. It doesn't do anything to Eximus units if they have their overguard still on. Just keep that in mind. But other than that, it'll push them back a wee bit. Boom. See, you can do that indefinitely. For the little bit of crowd control that you get out of that, it's not really worth it. It's mainly used so that you can strip the enemy armor and make them much, much easier to kill. It's pretty fun and pretty effective for that too. Other than that though, not really worth anything. So modifying it for like distance and stuff like that, it's not really going to give you all that much of a benefit. It's just so that you can crowd control and strip armor a little bit. In practice, what you're probably going to be doing is casting your first ability to get a cluster, stripping the cluster and blasting the cluster, and making sure that they're dead, and there you go. And then pick up everything so that you can replenish your health, your energy, and all that other good stuff. That's pretty much the main thing. Now, one of the most argued over abilities is his fourth ability. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it meh? Is it amazing? The answer is, unless you use the hotfix that I told you about just a couple of moments ago, it's useless. So what happens is you press 4, you rise up, and wherever you aim to, you will drop a bunch of spears. I also want to point out that you just probably saw those orange circles expanding away from me when I casted that. Let me go ahead and group them together. Jump up. And of course we have the worst possible acolyte to spawn, and he immediately puts a bubble on me. Let's see if I can get rid of him right quick so that we can continue on with our video. So again, casting my fourth ability, those orange expanding energy lines that you see there, what that is the arcane truculence doing its thing. If I hit Overguard, I will gain a viral burst. You gain Overguard because I have Intrepid Stand on him. So the more enemies I hit with my spear, the more Overguard I get. Oh, is he putting a bubble on me? Yeah, he tried to. The more Overguard I get with the more enemies that I hit. However, I have done some testing with this. It seems like I can also just go ahead and hit the same enemy over and over and over, and it's just as effective as spreading my spears around across multiple enemies. So again, I press 4. You look at the top right corner and you can see that I have Overguard. Every time I reach 3,000 Overguard, Truculence is triggered, and it does this orange expansion. It'll be a different color for you probably. It'll do this orange expansion of viral. Why is this so important? Well, the only way to get Overguard with my fourth ability is by using Intrepid Stand. The only way to kill anything with this ability, since it does mainly slash damage, is by using Truculence. They have to have viral on them. Now, if you hate Truculence, of course, then what you're going to need to do is somehow put viral on the enemies in another way. You can use a primer or something, you can do whatever you want, and then you can free up that slot. But honestly, this is pretty convenient to just do it this way if you want a build that just works everything together and all in one. So that's why that is so important. Again, if you do anything else, this ability will not do any killing. You won't gain any Overguard, so you can't really do anything with the Overguard. Using only Overguard is also kind of meh, because the Overguard on slightly higher level, on this level these guys aren't quite strong enough, but on Mott alone, the level that they have there and the power that they have there, you can tell very quickly that you generate Overguard, and by the time you land out of this here animation, by the time you touch the ground, the Overguard is immediately gone already. So what a lot of people will do is they'll just spam the ability and mod for that, and basically what you're doing is you're just a walking non-verbal Overguard generator and nothing else, which is almost as bad as the EV Trinity back in the day. It just makes no sense and is no fun at all. So overall, Styanax is a supportive Warframe. He is going to benefit the team. All the benefits that you get from casting the abilities, he also gains. So the energy generation, he gains. The Overguard that he generates, the team gets that as well. All of that good stuff. The little bit of crowd control always will help your team a little bit. So overall, he's a good frame, but like I said, only if you actually use the fix that I just showed you. I wouldn't recommend building him any other way than this, because everything else is truly just going to be a pain in the ass and kind of annoying, and this here is a pretty good balance, a pretty good budget balance for everything Styanax. As far as the play style goes, this is basically it. Everything that you've seen so far. Cast your spear on the enemies to get a cluster. Try to get the cluster in a controlled place where you want to have it. Kill those enemies, reap the benefits from those kills, pick up everything, and rinse and repeat. Occasionally, if you need it, or if you just like casting the ability, press 4 and just spam that on the enemies and you'll have overguard. Your team will too. They'll appreciate that. It'll make your squad way easier for your squad to survive. And that's pretty much it. You want to be on the move a lot. He's not really a frame that likes to stand still. So make sure that you're always moving. And with all of that said, let's go into detail with the build. Alright guys, my little one just snuck up behind me and might be talking occasionally, so don't worry about that and don't be surprised if you hear a 5-year-old talking in the background. Okay, so here we go. Here's the build. As I mentioned and already explained in detail, Intrepid Stand and Truculence is unfortunately an absolute must. Without this, you might as well throw your Styanax in the trash. Now, since Styanax plays into a lot of shield play, you want to have brief respite. You don't have to, but it does help. It does make it kind of convenient. Primed Redirection, Augur Reach, Adaptation. These together in tandem will do a lot for you for your survivability, because basically every move that you make with Styanax will replenish his shields, and so that just works kind of well in tandem. Equilibrium in conjunction with your energy gain from your third ability over here, and your death cube, if that's what you decide to use, is going to make sure that you're always topped off on energy. Like I said, if the death cube does not have energy generator on there, it's not going to do anything. If you're not using any other ability to drop more orbs for you so that equilibrium can be fed, forget about it. You're going to be running out of energy all the time. Blind Rage is going to give you 99% ability strength, which is going to allow you to armor strip with your second ability. But if you notice, the defense reduction at the bottom is only 99%. So you're only removing 99% of enemy armor. Where do you get that 1% from? I use it from Molt Augmented. The only reason why I want Molt Augmented for this is so that I don't have to use another slot over here for anything else. But you could just as easily go ahead and drop Augur Reach and put in Augur Secrets instead, and therefore you could put in Molt whatever you want instead, like for example, Shields. Alright, so that would be an option. Honestly though, this here just feels kind of clean to me. Why would you maybe even want to consider getting rid of Molt Augmented? Maybe to make room for experience or something like that. So anything that'll boost your shields to absurd levels to make use of your passive a little bit better. Honestly guys, I can't recommend it. It's not really worth it. Like I said, even without the help of this passive of increasing your crit chance, your weapons are probably already modified and set up in such a way that you're already doing nearly maximum crit and killing everything one way or another. So forget about it. This build is fairly friendly for a newer player. If you don't have the primed versions of these mods right here, use the regular ones, no problem. If you want to experiment, feel free to do that. The only thing that you will definitely have to do, like I said, is the combination of Intrepid Stand and Arcane Truculence. You can get Arcane Truculence from Eleanor at the Hex very, very easily. If you don't have access to that yet, well then unfortunately you're kind of screwed. You're probably just going to level Styanax and then feed him to the helminth and throw him away, and then get his prime later and then truly master that. All that being said, that's pretty much it. If you can follow these ideas, then you know exactly how to play them, and you can be a very good Styanax. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer anything in the comment section. I will be working on a how to cook with this guy, where I'll be going all out. I'll be putting more Forma in here. I'll be making use of helminth if necessary. I will be putting archon shards on him and everything, and just see how far we can push this. But that will be on my other channel. So yeah, let me know if this helps you out a little bit, if this was okay for you, if you like this style, this kind of one-take explanation, or if you would like me to script it a little bit more. I'll happily adjust for you guys. In any case, this is the Real Voice channel, where you'll hear this voice explaining everything about Warframe. And if you have any other requests, let me know in the comment section. And until then, stay healthy and safe, and peace out.